Good day. Today we're looking at special right triangles. We have two types of special right triangles. The first one is the 45, 45, 90 special right triangle. In a 45, 45, 90, your legs, I'm going to denote with L, and your hypotenuse can be found by taking the square root of 2 and multiplying that by L. All right, let's look. Number 2. The thing I want to identify is the hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is X. My legs are Y and 25. Keep in mind the legs are congruent. So I know Y already is 25. To find X, I'm going to take 25 and multiply by the square root of 2. There's my answer finished. Number 3. The hypotenuse is 19. My legs are X and Y. X and Y are congruent. To find the legs from the hypotenuse, I know that my hypotenuse is equal to leg times the square root of 2. I'm going to divide by the square root of 2 to have leg is equal to hypotenuse over square root of 2. This is 19 over the square root of 2. I need to get this radical out of the denominator, so to rationalize, times square root of 2 over square root 2. This gives me 19 square root 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. That is my answer for the leg, which is both X and Y. Try number 1. The second type is a 30, 60, 90. You have 3 parts of this triangle. You have a short leg, you have a long leg, and you have the hypotenuse. Now, I like using the letters SL, LL, and hypotenuse H just to help me do the problem. So for number 4, let's identify the short leg, the long leg, and the hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is across from the right angle. My hypotenuse is Y. My short leg is across from the 30-degree angle. In this case, here is my 30. I know that because 60 is in the bottom right corner. My short leg is 5. And lastly, my long leg is across from the 60-degree angle, so X. Now, remember the formulas. Long leg is equal to 2 times my short leg, is equal to short leg times the square root of 3. My hypotenuse is 2 times the short leg. So for my long leg, I'm going to have 5 times square root 3, and that's finished. That is my X value. For my hypotenuse, I'm going to have 2 times 5, which is 10. And that is the Y value. Okay, that problem is finished. Let's look at number 6. In number 6, I know that my short leg is going to be X. I know my long leg is going to be Y. I know my hypotenuse is 32. The first thing you always want to do is find the short leg. So how do I find the short leg based on the hypotenuse? Well, I know that the hypotenuse is equal to 2 short legs. So if I divide by 2, I can find that the short leg is equal to the hypotenuse over 2. My hypotenuse is 32. Therefore, my short leg must be 16. X is 16, finished. To get Y, I'm going to do 16 times the square root of 3, and that's it. So I've been given a short leg, I've been given a hypotenuse. Those two are easy. The hardest one to do is if I'm given the long leg. So let's look at number 8. My short leg is y. My long leg is 20. And my hypotenuse is x. If my short leg is y, I know short leg times square root 3 is equal to my long leg. Therefore, short leg is equal to long leg over the square root of 3. This is 20 over the square root of 3. I need to rationalize by multiplying by my radical in the denominator. 20 square root 3 over 3. That is what my short leg is, which is y. To find my hypotenuse, I'm going to do 2 times the short leg, 2 times 20 square root 3 over 3. This is 40 square root 3 divided by 3, finished. Go ahead and try 5 through 9. Okay, mixed practice. I'm going to encourage you to try 10 through 18 by yourself, just to practice what I've already showed you on the first page. However, I want to show you 3 problems from these last 6. Let's look at number 20. I'm asked to find x, y, and z. I'm going to look first at what leg it gives me. It gives me the 32 on the 45, 45, 90 triangle. I know that these sides are congruent, so 32 must be the other leg. I know to find x, which is the hypotenuse, I do 32 times the square root of 2. That was not a 2. There is my answer for x. If I look at the other triangle, which is a 30, 60, 90 now, the 32 is across from my right angle, so it's the hypotenuse. Z is my short leg, which is going to be 32 over 2, 16. Y is my long leg, which is going to be short leg, 16, times square root of 3. And that problem is finished. 23. I'm given the hypotenuse on a 45, 45, 90. That's 15 square root 2. To find my legs, I need to do 15 square root 2 divided by the square root of 2 to get my short leg, or to get my leg. This is just 15. So z is 15, and the leg of the left triangle is 15. For the left triangle, the long leg is 15. To get my short leg from my long leg, I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. So this is 15 divided by the square root of 3. 15 over 3, square root 3 on top. 15 divided by 3 is 5, square root 3. 5 square root 3 is my y value. Let me erase that. There was something weird on the iPad on that corner. 5 square root 3. To get my hypotenuse from my short leg, I'm going to multiply by 2. 2 times 5 square root 3. 10 square root 3 is my x. For 24, I have the 18 as my long leg. Z is my short leg. To find my short leg, I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. This is 18 square root 3 over 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, square root 3. To get my hypotenuse, I'm going to multiply by 2. So 2 times 6 square root 3, 12 square root 3. The top triangle is a 45, 45, 90. For the hypotenuse, I know it's going to be equal to my leg times the square root of 2. I've done that twice now. 2 is going to be the hypotenuse, 12 square root 3. I'm going to be dividing by the square root of 2. This gives me, I'm going to rationalize the denominator. So 12 times the square root of 3 times the square root of 2 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Both x and y are the legs, 6 square root 6. Okay, try numbers 19 through 22. Here's your answer key. This is all that I have for you today. I hope you have a good rest of your day.